Today we're going to talk about sitting positions and more specifically how to do different sitting positions for your all-day movement-based lifestyle. Because you don't want to wait for the end of your day to move your body. You want to keep coming into your body, checking in with your body, and finding different ways to be in your body while you're still being productive. Now, many people, I'm using kind of like a very simple plastic chair to show you this, but many people have quite fancy chairs. I would say that how fancy your chair isn't important. It's important how well you sit in it. You can have the fancier chair, but if you kind of slouch back into your chair, it's not going to be the best use of your equipment. So I'm going to turn sideways to talk a little bit about the pelvis. You want to make sure that when you're seated, you're sitting at the base of your pelvis. It's almost like you have a bowl, like a picture bowl of soup that's sitting on its bottom. You don't want to tip the bowl back or tip the bowl forward. And you can place your fingers on your lumbar spine. That's the kind of the most bottom part of your spine, and move your pelvis kind of back, sitting onto your tail, and then moving it forward. And you're going to see that wherever the pelvis goes, the spine goes. So you want to make sure that for the most of your sitting, your pelvis is neutral. You're not sitting into your tailbone, flexing your spine, and you're not pushing yourself forward, extending and curving your lower back. So find that place. You can kind of shift onto your glutes left and right. Find that place that allows you to be seated solidly in your pelvis, feeling the bones on the bottom of your pelvis as you kind of rock left and right. And then from that place, adjust the rest of you with the backrest of the chair. You either sit kind of back so that you can adjust your back so it's on the back of the chair, or you're going to need something between you and the back of the chair if the back of the chair isn't straight up. So in this case, you see that my demo chair here is kind of back, right? If I wanted to have a straight spine here, but the back of the chair was all the way there, there's no way to do that. So I would need a prop, either a pillow or something else, like a rolled up blanket or a yoga bolster, to keep that space here filled so that I can rest onto it. And it'll take you some practice until you find what is the thing that can support you there in a way that your spine is aligned and it's resting together with the rib cage over the pelvis, so that your head and your arms are free to move instead of them having to lock up because your torso isn't supported over the pelvis. So this is the first main thing, that most of your time is spent in this more effortlessly supported position when you do have to sit. And then once you get those basics straight, you can start playing with things a little bit. Now, some people really enjoy having their knees at hip width and their feet being kind of straight. Some other people do a little bit better with a slightly wider foot stance. It's almost a stance that you have when you're going to come out of a chair, or if you're in the gym, if you're squatting. Some people do really well with this slightly wider base of support. And then again, you want to check with your pelvis. You want to make sure that you're not slouched back onto your tail. So this is your basic sitting position. Most people, even when they're really well supported in the back, can't really be in any one position for too long. So what are some positions that you can take? You, depending on your chair, you might want to move forward and take one leg out. And that gives a break to the muscles of the inner thigh, to the backs of the legs, because this kind of constant bent knee position isn't awesome. So here you're giving one leg a rest. And here you're giving another leg a rest. And maybe you can hold this for a few minutes and then change positions. This may look like it's really small, but for the blood vessels and the nerves and the hundreds of trillions of cells that live in our body, you know, it really doesn't take much to change their position or to stretch them a little bit or to twist them a little bit or to compress them a little bit. It's all about the load that they're experiencing and the geometry of your body. Change that as often as you can. Now, another thing you can do is you can just straighten your legs in front of you. And this whole time, I really like to maintain a pelvis that can support me, because even if you have your legs in front of you, if you're kind of sitting back, that's not very comfortable on the neck. So supported by your kind of wide base pelvis, you can do that. You can also here take one heel over the knee and just rest there. You can go on the other side. And who says that you have to be still? Maybe you're going to rock your leg a little bit. Why not? Get some energy moving through your body. You can still get some work done or some reading done. And then why not bend your knees, kind of sit back a little bit more and do a little number 4 stretch, right? For a lot of us, this may be, quite a big step, but if you do this in yoga class, why not do this at work? And again, being mindful that you're not curved back into your pelvis, but you have a nice neutral pelvis and you're able to relax your torso and your shoulders and your head while you're in this position working, right? And kind of at your own pace, play with the other side, right? Do this for a little bit. Maybe you want to rock here. Maybe you want to move forward and back. Maybe even want to twist a little bit, right? These are all different positions that you can take. I'm personally not a very tall person, as you can tell. So I can fit in a chair. I can even cross my legs one way, or what's slightly less natural for me the other way. Or I can even sit on one leg for a little bit, then sit on the other. Or I can even take my legs behind me and kind of sit on my knees, or I can even kneel up and work here depending on my station. So there's a lot of creative ways that you can do that. You don't need to be stuck in any one position. You can bring your legs under and you can tuck one toe under or the other. Or you can even do a little top of the foot stretch while you're sitting in your chair, right? Why wait for your restorative exercise class for the end of the day when you can just do this while you're working? And of course, if you have more props than your chair, if you have more chairs or seats, these are different ways that, you can lift your legs up. We suggest that other than in your chair, you have some other options for work, whether to stand up in a kind of stand-up workstation environment, or to kind of roll over a Swiss ball, one of those big exercise balls that you can sit on, that's going to give you a little bit more ability to kind of move around, be a little bit more dynamic with yourself than just being in a chair and being kind of monk-like all day long. So I hope that you can use some of these to kind of break up your day. They're very, very simple. Just remind yourself that you don't have to sit still, because stillness is what locks our cells and all of our systems in place. And we want motion. And motions don't need to be huge to make a difference. Even a change in position mechanically can load your cells differently. And this can have a huge impact over time. So change your position often. Enjoy your different positions. Start a movement at your workplace of being this dynamic person in your body, and possibly there'll be other dynamic changes to other areas of your life. Whether you become a little bit better at making decisions or you become a little bit less rigid in how you do work. Let us know what you notice. Enjoy this, and by all means, get our support on anything that you are struggling with. We enjoy supporting you. We're excited about the 90-day transformation that we're all going through together, and we can't wait to see how you make your workspace better.